This is a video playlist, Mom's Lives Matter playlist. We're going to be reading in its entirety Ezekiel 23. This is a story of Aholoah and Aholibah. Now, the GNT calls these women the sinful sisters, and the this one, evangelical one, calls it the two lewd sisters that acted like prostitutes. Okay, now I'm reading from this book is what I got, and this one actually calls it an allegory of the history of Jerusalem and Samaria. This is the word of the Lord was addressed to me as follows. Son of man, there were once two women, the daughters of the same mother. They became prostitutes in Egypt when they were girls, and their nipples were handled, and their virgins' breasts were fondled. Their names were Aholoah, the elder, and Aholibah, her sister. And they belonged to me. And they bore sons and daughters. As regards their names, Samaria is Aholoah, and Jerusalem is Aholibah. Now, Aholoah played the whore. Although she belonged to me, she lusted after lovers, her neighbors, the Assyrians, dressed in purple, governors, nobles, all of them young, desirable, skillful horsemen. She granted them her favors. They were all the flower of the Assyrians. She defiled herself with all the idols of those she lusted for. She did not renounce her whoring begun in Egypt, where men had slept with her from her girlhood, fondling her virgin breasts, debauching her. Now, I'm not sure any other translation says that. We can check. This was 23. Anyway, hold on. But anyway, and that is why I have handed over her over to her lovers, to the Assyrians, whom she lusted. They uncovered her nakedness. They seized her sons and daughters and put her to the sword, and she became notorious among women for justice was on her. Now, this one says notorious. The other version says famous. Okay, there's a famous woman of the Bible, and it's one of these two. Okay. Anyway, though her sister Aholibah saw all this, her own lust and whorings were even more shameful than her sister's. She lusted for her neighbors, the Assyrians, governors, nobles, dressed in sumptuous clothes, skillful horsemen, all young and desirable. And I saw that she was unchaste. Both sisters were as bad as the other. She began whoring worse than ever. No sooner had she seen wall carvings of men and paintings of Chaldeans, vermilion, men with sashes around their waists and elaborate turbans on their heads, also imperious of the bearing portraits of the Babylonians of Chaldea. Then she fell in love with them at first sight, sent messengers to them in Chaldea. The Babylonians came to her, shared the love bed, defiled her with their debauchery. Once defiled, she lost interest in them and flaunted her whoring, stripped naked, and I turned away from her as I had turned away from her sister. She began whoring worse than ever, remembering her girlhood when she played the whore in the land of Egypt. And she had been infatuated by profligates, big members as donkeys, ejaculating as violently as stallions. Like, this version, this is the first time I'm reading this version, I'm telling you, like, yeah, it's just different wording, okay? I like the GNT, and I like the Message, and if you're depending on King James to deliver you all the truth, you're simply mistaken. Anyway, you were hankering for the debauchery of your girlhood. They were, when they used to handle your nipples in Egypt. Now, I'm saying people who went to Planned Parenthood, we were fondled there. Definitely. Okay. Anyway, they fondled your young breasts. And so, Aholibah, the Lord says this: I intend to call up against you those of your lovers in whom you lost interest, and I'll bring them against you from everywhere, the Babylonians, the Chaldeans, the men of Pekod, Shoah, Koah, and all the Assyrians with them, young, desirable governors, nobles, all the famous officers and horsemen, and they will advance on you from the north with chariots, wagons at the head of the hordes of the peoples. From every side they will arm against you, shield, buckler, helmet, as I told them to pass sentence on you. They will pass it on you as they think fit. I shall direct my jealousy against you, and they will treat you with fury. They will cut off your nose and your ears, and what is left of your family will fall by the sword. They'll seize your sons and daughters, and what is left of you will be burnt. They'll strip your garments and rob your jewels, and I mean to put an end to your debauchery and the whorings that you began in Egypt. You will not look to the Egyptians anymore. You will never think of them again, for the Lord says this: I now hand you over to those you hate, to those in whom you lost interest. They will treat you with hatred. They will rob you of the fruit of your labors and leave you completely naked, and thus your shameful whoring will be exposed. Your debauchery and your whorings are the cause of these afflictions. Since you played the whore with the nations, you defiled yourselves with their idols, and you have copied your sister's behavior. I will put her cup in your hand. The Lord says this: you will drink of your sister's cup, a cup that's wide and deep, leading to laughter and mockery. So ample the draught it holds, you will be filled with drunkenness and sorrow, a cup of affliction and devastation, the cup of your sister Samaria. You will drink it, you will drain it, and they will be shattered into pieces and lacerate your breasts. I, the Lord, have spoken it, and the Lord is the Lord who speaks. And so the Lord says this: since you have forgotten me and have turned your back on me, you too will have to bear the weight of your debauchery and your whorings. And the Lord said to me, Son of man, are you willing to judge Aholoah and Aholibah and to charge them with their filthy crimes? They have been adulteresses, their hands are dripping with blood, they have committed adultery with their idols. As for the children they had borne me, they have made them pass through the fire to be consumed, and here is something else they have done to me. They defiled my sanctuary, the same day have profaned my Sabbath, the same day sacrificing their children to idols. They have been to my sanctuary and profaned it. Yes, this is worse, what they have done in my own house. Worse still, these men, summoned from distant countries, invited by messenger, arrived. You bathed and painted your eyes and put your jewels and sat on a sumptuous bed by which stood a table on which you had put my incense and my oil. The revelry of carefree company re-echoed because of all the crowd of men brought in from the desert. They put bracelets on the women's arm and magnificent crowns on their heads, and I thought, the prostitutes are at work in the house of a woman worn out with adulteries. She is still playing the whore, and the men keep visiting her just like a prostitute, just like they went to those profligate women, Aholoah and Aholibah. But upright men will judge them as adulterers, and murderesses are judged, since they are adulteresses and their hands are dripping with blood. The Lord says this: summon an assembly to deal with them, hand them over to terror and pillage. Let the assembly stone them, hack them to death with the sword, let their sons and daughters be slaughtered and their houses set on fire. I mean to purge the land of debauchery. All the women will thus be warned. and ape your debauchery no more. Your debauchery will recoil on your own heads. You will bear the weight of your idolatrous sins, and so you will learn that I am the Lord.